Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun, as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky.
Hello everyone, I'm Ryu Zone. Today, I would like to introduce you to Geoje in Korea in detail, following last time. The first place to introduce Geoje is the Prisoner's Relic Park. It is the largest concentration camp in the country that housed North Korean and Chinese prisoners of war during the Korean War. In addition, 16 countries participated in the war and fought for Korea. Then we'll take a proper look around from now on. Let's go to the tank exhibition hall first. When you go inside, you'll see the key North and South Korean figures standing side by side during the war. Let's stay away from war and close to peace. If you move along the viewing direction, you will reach the diorama pavilion. If you go in here, you'll see the gendarmes standing with the words Comp 62 round, and you'll see how they were in captivity at that time. It can also be seen as murals showing refugees fleeing to the south during the war. It was impressive to see the fierce battle ahead of the 38th parallel. Shall we hear Jaehyun's realistic sound? The next place to visit is the Korean War History Museum. 16 countries fought for Korea too. We will never forget our gratitude to these countries. When the Chinese army flooded in, people had to evacuate again, but many had to isolate because the railway bridge was cut off. Can you feel the despair of people well with the bitter wind? This is Korea, where the sorrow of war remains a heartbreaking history. Then from now on, we'll talk about something a little bright. As you walk, you'll find a corner where you can enjoy souvenirs and snacks. There are various mouth-watering snacks such as dalgona, soteok, hot bar, and hot dog, which have become famous for Squid Games. Let's pick a dalgona. Yes, I picked this one. It's hard to eat if it's too cute because it makes you feel weak. You can also ride Avatarpo, a roller coaster zip line, here. We are not operating because it is cold winter, but we will open it from spring. Let's go into the building that says POW in big letters. The daily lives of actual prisoners were well expressed in miniature. It shows physiological phenomena of washing your body, eating and pooing, and even checking your health. Shall we go into more detail? They underwent physical examinations, hosted Olympic Games for prisoners, and taught them religious education. They taught them theatrical education, movie screenings, vocational training, craftsmanship education, smoking, and hangul. They cooked meals and opened a field dentist to check their health conditions. In this way, the prisoners were divided into anti-campaigners who were satisfied with their lives and pro-campaigners who tried to escape and return to their homeland because they were able to live regularly and provide various education. This is a place where you can experience a maze using the remains of actual prisoner of war camp sites. In other words, it is the site of an actual prisoner of war camp and traces of history can be found. The maze is very short, and it's difficult enough for anyone to pass through, and there's even a gaggle, so you can see the humorous side. Next up is the P.O.W. Listen to the sound for vivid reproduction. So the captives who are captured from all over the place are put on a ship and brought to this concentration camp. When you look at the prisoners of war on board the 529th vessel, you can see that they are about to get off with a bundle on. There are wounded here and there, and everyone doesn't look so good. There are many different photo zones in the concentration camp. This is a trick art photo zone that shows prisoners bathing. How do I take it? You can make a gesture with two people acting like this. It is a military jeep that commanders used a lot during the Korean War. I was active in the war, but now I feel a lot of signs of time, so I can't drive, but I have no problem taking pictures. Next up is the P.O.W. confrontation. You can see the pro-horrorists and the anti-POWs fighting separately. There was also a separate women's prisoner of war for female prisoners of war. Women learned sewing-related skills and were managed by guards of the same gender with the same treatment as male prisoners. Also, the children lived with the prisoners. Since there are many prisoners of war, there can be no riots. There were numerous riots, and the military police continued to be nervous and vigilant, monitoring their unexpected behavior and responding sternly. Let's listen to the scene that reproduces the situation at that time. As soon as the Korean War came to a truce, the prisoners were able to return and repatriate. Because it was a free repatriation that respected the will of the prisoners were able to choose whether to stay or be active. So the train carrying prisoners of war who wished to be repatriated returned the prisoners with the loud sound of the train. Here the weapons used in the actual war were restored and reproduced, and the outdoor exhibition was held. Next up is Enclosure 7 Compound Non 78. I noticed the guardhouse on the left before I got ready to enter. The gendarmes were taking turns working all the time. This is the barracks where prisoners lived, mostly for off-work sleeping and personal maintenance breaks. Inside, the captives could learn or hone their own skills. and they tried to find a way to live in order to find what they wanted to do, even in a limited life. It seems that they were able to spend time after work relatively freely, such as spending time playing games or practicing musical instruments. It's a toilet here. The poacher's urine treatment was a big problem, and the poacher's urine treatment was well reproduced by seeing the feces and cleaning them from such a high place and allowing them to lie in such a large fountain. Next to it, you can see prisoners cooking rice like this. Next to it was a black lion statue, and it is said that Chinese prisoners of war made and worshipped a lion statue to escape from camp life. We're going to go into the Peace Park now. Before that, there's something on the left that bothers you. On the left was the Peace Chamber. Here you could purchase a variety of daily necessities from favorite foods such as cigarettes to chocolates, gum, shoes, and clothes necessary for your life. And you could also see the temporary marketplace built by the refugees. Korean rice soup and kakakdugi are very delicious. It can be seen that they have made various efforts to make a living even during the evacuation. I'm currently passing through the Peace Park Cave. History is alive and breathing. We have arrived at the Peace Exploration Experience Center. Here, you can experience how disastrously peaceful daily life is collapsed by the war just before the Korean War. Let's listen to it with the sound. The sound of shells, the sound of tanks moving, the broken signs and the broken and cracked walls everywhere, the armed forces that somehow confront to fight back. Yes, this is where everyday life breaks down in an instant and hell of hell unfolds. The familiar neighborhood quickly turned into a battlefield, and there were only those who killed and those who died. In this way, war produces tragedy and re-engages that it should not happen in our society. Tragedy and re-engages that it should not happen in our society. After the hell of war, the experience of boarding the LST line, undergoing inspection and disinfection. The experience of boarding the LST line, undergoing inspection and disinfection. And then heading from the shelter to the completely southern part of Changwon and Masan is over. After experiencing it like this, I feel again how precious and peaceful our daily lives are. Experiencing it like this, I feel again how precious and peaceful our daily lives are. The next place to go is the 1950 Experience Center, where you can have fun experiences such as shooting and mirrors. However, you need money apart from the admission ticket to experience it. I've shot a lot elsewhere, so I've experienced a mirror maze. Experience it. I've shot a lot elsewhere, so I've experienced a mirror maze. It was amazing to see myself here and there with a mirror with such mysterious music. Also, I was surprised at first because the North Korean military was showing up in the middle. At first because the North Korean military was showing up in the middle. When you come out of the mirror experience, you will find the Optical Illusion Art Experience Center. Unlike regular photo zones, you can take more realistic pictures while experiencing optical and trick art. Photo zones, you can take more realistic pictures while experiencing optical and trick art. You can take pictures like you're parachuting in on top of a hollow military tank, and you can also take pictures through the lens part of a large camera of a hollow military tank, and you can also take pictures through the lens part of a large camera. You can also see a painting that depends on the gaze and movement through the optical illusion art. You can also see a painting that depends on the gaze and movement through the optical illusion art. Now I think I've been looking around a little bit. As you approach the way out, you see PX like this, and you can actually go in and buy things. Approach the way out. You see PX like this, and you can actually go in and buy things. That's all for today's Geoje tour. How was it? If you enjoyed it, please like it and subscribe. I am Ryu Zone. See you next time. Thank you.